All right, so it's been a year since we last talked about Guardian Cap. A lot has changed. They've been popping up on social media for the last little bit, so let's talk about them. And you're actually gonna wanna stick around to the end because for this video, they actually sent us a new product that we think is gonna be 100% a game changer. Now, like I do with any Guardian Cap video, comment your thoughts on them down below right now. And then after the video, go back and see what you said and see if your opinion has changed at all since watching this. I always like to do that with them because they're pretty polarizing, so I'm always curious to see what people think. And after a couple days, I'll go and pin a couple of my favorites. All right, so first let's talk about what these things actually are. And yeah, unlike last year's video, I actually have a couple. Now, the science behind this thing is it's essentially just a big cushion that goes over top of your helmet. Their two main goals of this, though, are going to help reduce impact and redirect rotational force that comes in when you make contact. And that's because if you think about it, it just looks like you basically strapped a pillow to your head. It's the exact same concept. Now, we're not going to do like all the origins of Guardian Cap and how far it's come today. If you want to watch that, we did this video last year that covers that a lot better. A couple things I actually didn't talk about, though, in that video is that the University of South Carolina was the first team to actually start using this back in 2013. So like it's been around for a while. And then the Jags were the first NFL team to start using it in 2020. And then the Guardian Cap really became mainstream around like 2022 when it started to get mandated by the NFL to be used in practice. Now, since then, the Guardian Cap is basically mandated to be worn in practice by every position except quarterbacks, punters, and kickers. But again, if you want to learn like way more, go watch that video. And since mandating it in practice, the NFL has reported a 50% reduction in concussions in practice and a 17% reduction in the 2023 season. Now, one of the big metrics they talk about is HARM, which is, I always forget it, it's head acceleration response metric. That's what it is. So HARM is what's also used by a lot of the helmet companies as well to measure. And they found with this thing, there was a 40% reduction to HARM with this. And it's kind of cool. And then the big change was in 2024 when the NFL mandated that you could now use it in game because they saw in practice it was just doing so well statistically. So they said players can now use it in game and we'll see how well it does there too. But again, players don't have to wear it in game. They have the option to wear it in game, where in practice they do have to wear it. So that's kind of the difference. Now, the only difference between this Guardian Cap and the one that you'll see an NFL player wearing in a game is essentially they put this like penny cap over top of it. And what that does is it'll essentially mimic the exact same helmet design that the team is wearing that week. So instead of having to like take a Guardian Cap and then get all this fabric like printed to match an NFL team and try and make it look right, they don't do that right now. All they do is they take this penny cap, they put it over top, and it replicates the helmet design that the team is wearing that week. And that's really efficient because helmet designs change weekly, so it's kind of a quicker way to take that penny cap off and put a new one on. The one that was really popular going around social media right now is this one for Romeo Doubs, and I'll talk about him later. But they even like replicated the NFL leather throwback design for them this week, and so far it looks good. And again, it's blown up on socials. Now, like I said last year, the statistics are fine and dandy. They can report that there was a reduction in concussions, they can say it reduces impact, but this thing is still ugly. And the big problem with that is before it was just in practice, right? If you weren't a diehard football fan, you didn't even know the Guardian Cap existed. The way I knew that Guardian Cap was becoming mainstream is when my dad asked me what Guardian Cap was. And that's how I knew it was starting to get out there. And that definitely can be attributed to them wearing it in actual NFL games. Now, to solve this issue, Guardian Cap is looking at two things. And the first is actually going to be this. So if you noticed, a lot of the players right now are still wearing the old 1.0 version, which I have right here. And they've now updated it to this 2.0 model here. Now, if you look at the old 1.0 model, it's super bumpy. It's kind of looks essentially like you're wearing bubble wrap on your head, and it just looks more like a rugby scrum than it does anything related to football. And that was what was really jarring for fans. But since then, they've come up with the 2.0 model here, which is essentially all the same technology, all the same padding. All they did is change it to a more sleek and better looking design, which makes it a little more uniform and nice looking on top of the helmet. And one of the other changes I actually didn't think about when I was looking at it was with the 1.0 how it attaches. So on the back of the 1.0, there's essentially a little strap here that goes on, and then the elastics that go around, and we'll show you what it looks like. But on the 2.0, there's actually more padding on the back here too. I never noticed that until right now. Anyways, the big difference with the 2.0 is going to be the size of the pad. So one of the issues they had with the Guardian Cap 1.0 is how do you make this look good on the football field? In practice, it's fine. Who cares? It just goes over top of the helmet. But a football helmet has decals on it and designs and stripes and numbers and all sorts of things. How are you going to stick that to this, right? It's incredibly challenging, and that's why they came up with that penny cap design. But the 2.0 is looking to basically put that all together. So in the 2.0, you can do everything that you could do with a normal football helmet. You put it on here. So you can put decals on it. You can put stripes on it. You can put labels on the back. You can do everything so it essentially looks like the football helmet that you already have on here. And honestly, this was a massive improvement for them as a company. It just looks way better. It looks less jarring on the field. You can put the decals on it. It looks more sleek. It looks more streamlined. The 2.0 from the 1.0 is a massive difference, at least as far as the looks goes from my perspective. So yeah, shout out to them for making improvements. Now, I won't lie, right? Color definitely matters. When you're looking at something like the 1.0, even with a penny cap or something, and you're looking at the 2.0, the white still looks way bigger on your head. It's just some kind of optical illusion. The black is definitely more sleek. Any of the dark colors, it just fits in better and kind of blends nicer into the helmet. So yes, the design helps, but also color is a big factor too. Now, that's basically the first thing they did to help with the look side, right? Try and make it look a little better. But the second one, they're actually leaning into the fact that the purpose of this thing is to protect athletes and not to look good. And that was my argument last year was, yeah, it just doesn't look good. But they're basically saying that doesn't matter. right? The point is not that it looks good. The point is that it protects athletes. And I'm kind of coming around on their side of that now. And it's kind of hard to go against them, right? Because basically they're saying with the 1.0, yeah, we know it looks a little weird, but we're seeing a reduction in concussions and we're seeing a reduction in impact overall. So this is going to be what it is. Now that we have the data to back it up, we're going to take that and make it look a little better. And when this actually started to really click in for me is when I saw this shirt. Like, duh, I get it now. And honestly, that's kind of the same sentiment that's been in my comment section for about the past year to 2 years at this point, where it has definitely shifted from guys saying this is ugly, it does not belong in football, to guys saying we know it doesn't look great, but it reduces concussions, it reduces impact. Guys should be wearing it if they take their health seriously. And I've noticed that shift over the years, which is really interesting. That's also why I'm telling you to comment down below. The other nice thing is now that the Guardian Cap has been in games for a couple of years, we actually have a really good sample size of different helmet designs, different players, different positions wearing it, and seeing what it all looks like. So here's a quick little list of a bunch of guys that are wearing the NFL game day Guardian Cap right now. So we have obviously Romeo Doubs, he's the big one, Rashawn Johnson, Savion Williams, Jabril Peppers, Kevin Dodson, Luke Gadecki, Alaric Jackson, Taylor Rep, JD Betron, Cole Strange, and Cedric Wilson Jr. Yeah, you can see it's kind of grown on me a bit. I don't love it, but it's grown on me. Now, like I said, with most of those photos, though, the big difference between what the NFL is doing right now and what other like college programs are doing is they're still wearing the 1.0 in games with the penny cap. I'd really love in the future to see if they transition to doing the 2.0, because like I said, it's just a little more sleek. But again, hopefully that's future them, and I'm sure they're working on that. And if you want to see what the 2.0 looks like on the game day field, again, here's some photos of what it looks like in college this year, because again, equipment wise, college is like always ahead of the NFL. So if college is doing it this year, NFL will probably start doing it next year. Okay, finally, I talked about something I teased at the beginning, and that is going to be this. And this is going to be called the Guardian Chinstrap powered by SoftShocks. And really the only other chin strap you can compare this to is Sportstar. They're the only other company that has any sort of like shock absorbing thing in the middle of their chin strap. And this looks pretty similar to that, although it seems like they've really taken it to the next level. And frankly, Sportstar hasn't had any like competition in this space in the NFL for like 10 years. So I'm loving to see more people try and jump into this and make it better. Now, the biggest difference with this one is it seems like they have a little more research than Sportstar has had in the past. So they recently did a study, the International Journal of Mechanical Sciences, and they said it reduces the harm rating again by 35%. And then Guardian Cap is basically stating with their own testing, it performs 35% better than the 6 top leading chin straps on the market. And I'm assuming again, they're referring to mostly Sportstar because they're just the most popular in the NFL. But again, they won't say that. Now, again, this thing is super new, so I don't have a lot to talk about it today. It looks really nice. It feels really good on the chin, but we need to see it on the field more, right? And you've only really seen it by a couple teams so far. So we're looking at college teams. We've seen it on Clemson. We've seen it on Alabama. When we're looking at the NFL, the most recent one has been the Saints. The other guy that's specifically using it, and he's like always ahead of the curve on equipment stuff, is Kyle Juszczyk. He's switching to the light helmet this year, and he really takes the safety stuff seriously as he's getting a little bit later in the stage in his career. So the fact that he's like one of the early adopters of this, I really like to see that. I trust Kyle. So yeah, that's everything we want to talk about today. 1.0 upgraded to 2.0, new chin strap. We'll see it more in the NFL this year. Again, follow us down below and we'll post about them all the time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.